So I want to just take a few minutes to introduce Amanda. Amanda Todd has been with us before. If you missed that first training with our Bodacious Bookings, it was awesome. She is the official chief dot connector at that.life, which is a hub for direct sellers with tips, tools, training, and resources with a focus on business changing connections. She's got 18 years of experience in the direct selling community with a focus on relationship marketing, which is just a fancy term that means she teaches you how to build customer loyalty and long-lasting success instead of short-term results. She loves laughing, queso, and Jesus. She's a stay-at-home Target mom to 3 awesome kiddos, ages 17, 14, and 6, and a newlywed to a real-life PI. Her hobbies include napping, we can all get into that, yard sailing, glamping, and scrolling Facebook. Please put your hands together for Amanda Todd. Yay!
Yeah, thank you so much for this warm welcome. I know that you guys have been enjoying this day full of training already, but I am going to tell you guys, I am bringing it. Today, these trainings, because I'm actually going to do 2. My prayer is that you will implement the suggestions that I'm going to give you in your virtual parties, so that you can take your business up a couple notches, okay? So I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna jump right in. All right, can you guys, and I can't hear you because you're all muted, but can you guys tell me if you can see my screen? Just maybe give me a thumbs up with your hands.
Yes.
Thank you, Angela, Angie. Okay, awesome, thanks guys. All right, so how many of you, and again, show me with your hands, or you can nod, or you can be like this. How many of you are doing virtual parties? Raise your hand. Okay. I know we all miss a good home party, right? But in this world that we live in now, virtual parties are a must do. And I was, for many, many years, I was with Tag Team. Rachel and I did what we called the 30-minute Facebook party. So if you're like, wait, I know that girl looked familiar. I was with the Tag Team, and our, I guess, signature product was the 30-minute Facebook party. I originated the Facebook party. It's kind of like the pool noodle. You didn't realize you needed it until you needed it. But I knew after years, because that's like 10 or 12 years old now, I knew this time last year that I really needed to help you guys kind of up your game when it came to the virtual party. So I took to the streets and I asked and I quizzed and I picked apart things that worked and things that I knew didn't work. I interviewed a lot of people. I interviewed a lot of customers, people that aren't in direct sales. And I came up with this new formula, which I call the Poppin party. So today what I'm going to do, just so you guys know, kind of give you the lowdown, we're going to go through the steps of the party right now, okay, in this section of the training. But then what I'm going to do in the next section of the training is I'm going to go back, but I'm going to show it to you guys with the eyes of your product, okay, so with Tupperware in mind. And I'm going to give you guys real examples of things that I think you should try. All right, so you're definitely going to want to take notes. Each training section is going to, have, I guess, chunky things that you're going to want to write down and take out from it. But the basics, the foundation is what we're going to cover first. And it's very important. I get a lot of kickback. People are like, oh, well, Amanda, you just don't sell whatever it is, whoever I'm training. And I know that I do not sell Tupperware, okay? Even though after this training, I told Tina, I was like, man, I'm in love with y'all's stuff. I need it all. But I did study it, and I do have some friends that do what you guys do. And I'm excited to share in the next section some of my ideas for you guys specifically with your product. But this foundation and sometimes this kickback is, yes, Amanda, you don't sell what I sell, but they also will say, you know what, Amanda, I just don't know if that would work for me. Okay. And what's so neat about this formula is that it does work no matter what you sell. And you guys have a product that does work with us. Okay. Like no doubt about it. There are some that still work with it, but that are harder, but Tupperware definitely fits in this formula. All right. So I'm just going to go slide by slide. and kind of talk you guys through the steps. And sometimes people want to take some parts and tweak them a little bit. Sometimes they want to totally like skip a part. And here's the deal. This that I'm going to share with you guys today, this is, like I said, it's the foundation of the party. Are there things that you could tweak to fit your personality? Yes. Are there parts that you could add? Yes. I'm going to tell you though, this party is done in 20 minutes. Okay. So taking something out definitely will have a negative effect. And a lot of times people, they kind of argue with me on that. They're like, it's just not long enough. This is an introduction into the awesomeness that is Tupperware. This is, well, all these reasons. These scroll stopping graphics. It is very, what is going on with the arrows? Are y'all doing that? I don't know where the arrows are coming from. Do y'all see those? Okay, those are not from me. My hands are up here. I don't know what that is. But we're gonna, you guys are gonna see the power of really strong graphics. Okay, and why that's such a big part of this formula. The timeline, like I said, is short and it's impactful. All right, you're going to get to the meat of what it is that you need to share so that your customers will then respond. Because yeah, you could be posting for 2 weeks, 5 times a day, but the results, believe it or not, and I studied them, they're going to be better if you're sharing less in a shorter amount of time. Okay. The other tweak and the other thing that's really different about this formula, if you're new to it, is it serves every type of shopper. Okay, 10, 12 years ago, when the Facebook party came to be, I was working with customers who weren't even comfortable at that point in entering their credit card number at all into any secure website. PayPal wasn't popular. There was no Venmo. People weren't doing, transactions comfortably online. So to be like, hey guys, give me your money over the internet, that was a challenge. And so the way that the formula was back then is way different than the way people are shopping now. And I'm going to show you guys how to serve each type of shopper. Okay. And then I'm going to introduce you guys, if you're not familiar with it, sounds like you guys know about some of my games, but the virtual dice game, raise your hand. Has anybody heard of that? Oh my gosh, raise, right? Everybody's like, yes. All right. This is just a side note. If you are new to that dot life and you're like, virtual dice game, what is that? You need that today. Okay. That is your Christmas present to yourself. Okay. That is just something you got to have. It is amazing. And I know it's mine, but I didn't even think it was going to be this good. Okay. So I'm going to show you why and how that keeps the momentum going for your Poppin party, for your virtual party. Okay. So really quickly, can somebody get rid of those arrows? Do you know? I mean, I don't really mind them, but it's odd that they're there.
I don't see any errors.
Nobody sees any arrows in the middle of the screen?
Yes,
Nope.
you have to clear it out.
Tina,
I
did-
see them. They're in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, the arrows. I thought you said errors. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get rid of them, but I don't, for some reason, I'm not able to do that right now because you're screen sharing.
Okay, no worries. You guys it's an added bonus to today's slides. So these are the steps that you're going to take before the party starts. And like I said, I'm going to break these parts down generically, kind of just to lay the foundation. And then in the second section of my training, I'm going to actually show you how you do this for your brand, for your company, okay? For y'all's products. So first step is you're going to set up a Facebook event or a group. I used to get all the time, Amanda, what's better? I'm going to tell you. Step 2 is you're going to upload what I call your purposeful posts. And there are 4 of them, which I'm going to tell you about. You're going to add your hostess. You just talked about how to, flip your hostess, which is awesome. But your hostesses will make or break this party. Okay, any party really, whether you're doing a 20-minute or a 20-day. Highly suggest you do the 20-minute. But we're going to talk about how to invite and add your hostess in this formula. How in step 4, I'm going to show you how your hostess invites her guests. Then I'm going to introduce to you guys what I call a quad post. Okay, that's step 5. Step 6, more purposeful posts that really get the conversation going. Then the party, the day of the party, these are the steps for that. And take a peek, you guys, it's not a lot. All right, remember, this is 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. All right, you're just hitting the highlights and the things that really make people take action and don't distract them from the objective. And I'll tell you guys, just as a little side note, the objective is to get them to buy and book with you, period. You want everybody to have a chance to buy and book with you, okay? So you guys can read through these. There's 7 steps that you do, or not 7, start at 7, end at 12, 5 steps, wait, 6. There's 6. And I'm gonna walk you through all of these steps right now, okay? See how easy? This is gonna be easy. All right, let's talk first about laying some groundwork. I haven't heard what you guys have been trained on today, but I'm gonna guess that somebody has probably talked about some basics when it comes to your business. And I'm going to tell you that your party setup is a basic thing that you need to be confident when it comes to doing, having a checklist, you know, making sure that you know what comes next. Nothing's worse than being like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I need to do, or did I do that? So I really encourage you to keep some sort of checklist so that you know where you're at when it comes to hosting or setting up the party. Okay, your hostess, while it's her job to get her friends there and get them excited, get them to RSVP, she's not doing the back end stuff like she would at a home party. Okay, she's not cleaning her house, she's not fixing the snacks. Pretty much you're doing the setup, those types of things virtually for her. And in my opinion, you need to be really good at those things. It's your job, okay? And they're not hard things, but you just have to make sure you're doing them, because if you miss one piece or you mess up one thing, it can make a difference in your results, okay? So let's just talk about the setup when it comes to virtually on Facebook or virtually in a Facebook group. You can either do an event or you can do a group. Years ago, I was team event. I thought, you know what? Events are amazing. Don't you dare do a group. And if you've been on Facebook a long time, you probably remember the issue that we had when people were just adding their friends to groups. And then you'd get this like hatred in your inbox. Like, who are you? What is this that I have been added to? All right, people got fussy. All right, so groups, they weren't even, like you didn't touch the group. It wasn't a good thing. But now depends on which way you want to work your business. Groups are set up very differently now. People have an opportunity to actually, you know, say that they want to be in that group. And I think there's perks to both. The event is nice because you can set up a time and a day, and the posts are very organized. But I will say that the groups are being shown more right now in the Facebook algorithm world that they're in. They're really showing the posts for groups more than they are events. So like I said, there's perks for both. You do you, okay? You figure out where you're comfortable partying. Do some research, try both. If you're, you know, if you've been dead set on events for so long and you're like, man, my party is like, where are my people? It might be that you need to move them to groups or vice versa, okay? So the other thing you need to do is you need to have a killer, awesome, amazing banner, all right? Something that's going to, when people come to that event to RSVP, they go, oh my gosh, this looks fun, okay? You don't want to have a boring event banner. And girls, can I challenge you? Again, I don't know what was said, so I might be training against what someone has told you to do. But from a consumer and from me interviewing hundreds of people that have been invited to Facebook parties, they want a different experience. They don't want to see a generic Tupperware, you know, every consultant is using banner, okay? Now, let me preface that. Well, I'm gonna piggyback, not preface. Let me piggyback. I don't want you to stress if you're brand new. I don't want you to stress if your computer skills are kind of, you know, lacking. Don't worry. That's not what you need to be worried about. Okay. If you're like, but this is all I have right now. That's all you have right now. You do it. Okay. And don't be like, oh, but I have to be different. when your business is at that level where you can take the next step, that's when you can do it. Okay. But for those of you that have been doing this a while, it might be time to take it up a notch. Okay. And from the feedback and all the people that I asked, they want a different experience. So make sure that banner is different. Make it funny, relate it back to, you know, a theme if you want even. There's lots of strategies, but just know that that banner is like the invitation in a sense where they're going to feel whether or not they want to be there. Okay. The same goes with the name of your event. You guys, there's a lot of you. I'm sure you can creatively come up with a few ideas for some names. I will say, again, years ago when Facebook parties were brand new, we coached people to say or to not say the name of their hostess in the name of the party title. I don't remember why we did that, but now it's actually not a bad idea to add the name of your hostess, because when people get invited to these Facebook parties, you guys, they don't go, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've never been to a Tupperware Facebook party before. I'm going to go into my calendar and I'm going to jot that down, or I'm going to add that, you know, into my calendar so that I don't miss it. Okay. They think like this. Okay, great. Well, that sounds fun. I didn't know Tupperware was still doing, you know, still indirect sales. Okay. Oh, I love my friend. Yeah, that might be fun. Okay. And so all they're associating with that party is that one, they got invited, and two, who invited them. Okay. So if later they think, oh my gosh, wait, it's Friday. Didn't I have something to do on Friday? Oh yeah, I had a Facebook party. Sarah Beth invited me. They're going to go search for that event or that group by their friend's name. So if you've named it something else without the hostess's name, it might be hard for them to find the party. Okay. That, again, that's not like a huge issue that you have to worry about, but with algorithms and the way that Facebook changes things, it's just something for you to know. Okay. All right. So the fourth thing, the description of the party. Again, it needs to be different. It needs to be wow. All right. I shared in a different training that you need to be the problem solver. Okay. The solution provider for your party guests. What makes Tupperware so much better than anything else that they could get somewhere else? And I'm not saying that like you're not. I'm just saying, what is it? What is it that sets you apart? What problem does Tupperware solve that every time you show something that people go, oh my gosh, is it that saves me so much money? Or is it, you know, oh my gosh, that would save me so much time? Or, you know, whatever it is, you are solving that problem for them. So in the description of your event, I suggest you share that this is the problem that you solve, you know, something as simple as can't cook, only have 30 minutes to make a meal. This is the party not to miss. Okay. Something like that, because you're attracting those people that will see the value in a quick meal and the solution that Tupperware can provide in a situation like that for someone. Okay. Again, it will kind of be based on the hostess that you have. If she is, you know, a young mom and a busy, you know, out of the house worker, her theme or her description of the party might be different than someone that's retired, you know, and inviting friends to just update some of their things in the kitchen. Okay. So just keep that in mind with your hostess, but write some of those ideas down. So when you go and your party is getting set up, you can copy and paste things that you know work, words that you know work. Okay. The fifth step is to add your date and your start time. You can do that in events very well. In groups, I suggest that you add that to the banner. You let them know the party time. So when they click in the group and they read your banner, it's very clear when the party takes place. Okay. And then the sixth thing that you'll do a little bit later before your party like really gets going, the last step you'll do is add your hostess, and they'll either be a co-host or in an event or the admin in a group. Okay. Depending again, where you're partying, but we're going to talk about that a little bit in detail in just a second. Okay. I expect that you guys will have questions. I am going to leave time at the end of the second session for you guys to pick my brain and clarify some things that might be confusing. So don't freak out if you're like, but wait, I need some clarification. I will clarify. I want you guys to use this. I want you to be successful. So you're not on your own to wonder or, you know, understand exactly what I'm suggesting. Okay. All right, let's go to purposeful posts. Now remember, you guys are seeing my framework, my generic, I guess, outline first. The next session is all going to be Tupperware. Okay. So let's just talk about the foundation of what purposeful posts are. Okay, before your party starts, before your hostess is invited, before any of her friends get to come into your event or come into your group, I'm just going to say group moving forward, okay? Even though events are great, I'm just going to say group. Group for your party, okay? Every hostess will have their own group for their party. So before you do that, you're going to decorate for your Facebook party, okay? And by decorating means you're going to set up the group so that there's something to see when they walk in. So eventually, when you do have your hostess invite her friends, she's going to come, or they're going to come in to that group, and they're going to be like, oh, okay. Now, I will tell you, these posts, don't get discouraged if you don't get a lot of interaction on these 4 posts, okay? These are, like I said, just kind of the decorations. It's not super common that somebody will walk in and go right up to the host and be like, your decorations are amazing, okay? They're usually just kind of assessing the party when they first walk in. So the same goes with these first 4 posts. And I have them categorized between 2 themes, okay? You have a helpful theme, and then you have a how-to theme, okay? Helpful is where you share something about your product that people don't really know or never realized before, okay? Tupperware is a huge household name, okay? It's probably, if not, it's probably one of the most popular direct sales companies. When I tell people that I work with direct sellers, they go, oh, like Tupperware. And I'm like, yes, like Tupperware. So you guys are it's going to be tough. I'm going to help you, but it's going to be tough to come up with some out of the box things, especially if you have groups that are familiar with your products. But it's the simplest stuff that you just you might think, really, they want to know this? They think this is interesting? Yes, they do. Okay. So you're going to post 2 helpful posts into the group, again, before the hostess has been invited, before any of her friends are in there. And then you're also going to post 2 how-to images. And you're going to do this, you guys, at the same time. Okay. So let's say you're setting the event. You have, you know, you're getting your description for your event in there, you're adding your banner, you're going to go ahead and add these 4 images in there as well, okay? And again, we're going to break down more about specific things for Tupperware in just a bit. But helpful, it's something out of the box that they go, oh, I didn't realize that, okay? And then how-to is how to do something with your product, which you guys, you could probably do like 50 how-tos, right? I mean, that's what your stuff is. So you're going to come up with 2 helpful, 2 how-to, and those are going to be posted again before anybody gets in there. Okay. All right, let's go to the next part. The next part is actually adding your hostess. And I have an entirely different training on hostess coaching, but I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some tips for this formula. You are going to have some hostesses who are going to think that they know better, okay? She is going to challenge you, I'll say, on some of what you're suggesting to her. And I get it, you guys. I hear it all the time. Amanda, I'm so frustrated. My hostess won't do what I asked her to do, or my hostess this, or my hostess that. You guys, there are just some hostesses, no matter how you work with them, no matter what promises you make, no matter how you say it, they're just not going to do it, okay? Those hostesses, you just have to grin and bear it and get through it and then move on, okay? And then there's going to be some who are just going to be like, oh my gosh, tell me more. Those people, they should be on your radar to join your team. Most hostesses, well, all hostesses originally should be on your radar to join your team. I hope you guys knew that. I think that's what I heard me to say. Okay. So she is your partner, and her job, you might be tempted to want to give her all of this information and send her a hostess packet with paper catalogs and, you know, incentives to do all these different things. Her most important thing, and if you're going to incentivize her on top of the hostess benefits, incentivize her to get her people there. That RSVP game, that guess who's RSVPing game, if you guys do not own that, go and get that, okay? It will totally change the way that you hostess coach. It's the way that it's broken down, the way that it incentivizes the hostess to think of different ways or different groups or ways to invite her people. It's insanity. It's so great how it gets them thinking, and it helps you reach different pockets of people. Okay, people that aren't necessarily the ones that have partied maybe if she's a repeat hostess with you before. Now, the hardest part when it comes to hostess coaching virtually and hosting these Facebook parties, you guys, I know you're going to be shaking your heads going, yes, Amanda, yes, is they over invite, or they don't listen to your instructions when it comes to how you want them to invite. Okay. Something that hasn't changed from the 30-minute Facebook party is the number, the magic number, I guess, of who should be invited. And that number is still 50 people. Okay. If your hostess is inviting 200, 300, 400 people to a Facebook party, you're not going to see the results that you think you might. You know, that whole more the merrier, that is just not the case in a virtual event. Okay. If she can be very strategic and pick out 50 people, okay, that fit those categories, or, you know, that she thinks would be interested in learning more about what you sell, those are the people that she needs to invite. And you want to encourage her. Why? She needs to understand why. Okay. And it's all on how you present it. And I know all of us have different personalities. I have one direct selling friend that I'm like literally scared to death of. Like the way that she says stuff, she's amazing. She's a top leader in her business. But the way that she says things can come off like, whoa. But I know her. She's just who she is. And she's like, this is it. Like, you're not going to do it. Okay, well, then we're not working together. Okay. And then there's some of us that are like, okay. And it's like that you don't have the confidence to say, listen, I do this. Like, this is my job. And I know how to tell you to have a great party, but you're just not quite confident in how to communicate that. If you're in that place, I really want to encourage you. Okay. Or even if you're somewhere in between, mastering your hostess coaching, there's such freedom when you have that mastered. Okay. When you figure out this works, oh my gosh, that does not work. So you might have to try some things that might feel a little bit uncomfortable right now. There might be a strategy or a tip that you learn today or that you'll learn later, and you'll be like, I'm not too sure about that. Okay. Give it a try. Give it a try. Give it a try for a couple times. Okay. Because once your hostess knows that this is your job and you know what's best, she might say to you, you know what? No, I'm not doing 20-minute Facebook party. I want to do 20 days. You have to say, guess what? Do you want free stuff? Is that why you're doing this? Well, I'm going to guarantee you're going to get more free stuff if you do a 20-minute than you did 20-day. Okay. And it's all in how you say it. And if you're like, wow, I really struggle with that, I need some help. Don't let that mindset stop you. Figure it out. Figure it out. Okay. And I happen to know somebody that has an awesome hostess coaching formula that's really simple and works. So if you are interested in that information, I'll let her know, or you let me know and I'll let her know. All right, let's talk now. Moving on to adding guests. Once your hostess is in the party, you're going to work with her. Again, her main goal is to get her friends there. And I'm going to suggest, and this is part of the formula that I sell in my shop, is that the hostess actually gets guests permission and, you know, their excitement before even adding them to the Facebook party, okay, to the event or to the group. And I know a lot of people are just like, wait, what? So remember how I said 50 people is like the best number, and that those hostesses that invite 200, 300, usually what those people do is they just go down and they click, 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 click on all their friends, right? There's no personal invitation. There's no, hey, I'm doing this. What do you think? Okay. And so what I think that does is it wastes an invitation. Let me explain. When somebody is hosting a party virtually, nowadays, the best strategy to get the friends to actually attend is to send them kind of a message beforehand. It can be a text, depends on how they talk to their friend, and say, hey girl, listen, I'm having this party. Are you interested? And then if she goes, oh my gosh, yes, I'm totally interested, that then she gets invited. Okay. If she says, you know what? No, I'm good. Then she gets off the list, and one other person that can fit into that 50 people gets added into that group. Okay. So she's not wasting an invitation. She's literally only inviting the people who said they wanted an invitation. That right there is the secret to how to get 30, 25, 30, 35 RSVPs to your Facebook party. Okay. Try it. If you don't take anything away from today, take that away, because that's powerful right there. Okay. And it's incentives, games like Guess Who's RSVPing that help them do just that. And that's what you want them to do. It's much easier to sell $200, $300, $400, $500 worth of Tupperware when you got 20 to 30 ladies in the room and then get 5 parties, right? Than it is if she got 200 people that, you know, were invited, but nobody RSVP'd, nobody's interacting. Very passionate about that, girls. Okay. Let me show you now what I call the quad post. And we're going to talk about why there is such energy and such awesomeness in this strategy, in this particular step. Okay. So people are coming into the party. She's invited the friend, she's added them to the group, or she's added them, you know, sent them an invite through the event because they said, yes, I want to be there. Okay. So after that starts, those people start trickling in. All right. And you're going to try to get her to do that in a short amount of time period, because what's so powerful too is ladies will get, you know, a message from a friend that's hosting a party with you, and they'll say, yeah, I would totally love to check out what's new at Tupperware. And so the hostess will say, okay, awesome, I'll add you to the event. And then what happens is that hostess has had that same conversation with 12 or 15 other friends. And so that friend that was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out, she comes and she gets that invitation. And then she sees that 10 or 12 or 15 other people have already RSVP'd. And she was like, okay, well, this looks like a happening place. I definitely want to be, you know, checking this out. I'm on RSVP. It's like they just follow each other. And so it's the psychology of that Facebook hostess coaching strategy that makes such a difference in the results. Okay. So after they've started trickling in, and again, they're gonna come in kind of as a group over a couple hours time period. And you will know, this is a side note, you will know if your hostess did what you asked her to do. Because if she says, oh yeah, I did it, and nobody is RSVPing, she did not do it. Okay. And again, there are some hostesses that just don't do it. They just don't. And again, you just grin and bear it, get through it, and then move on to the next hostess. Okay. You don't quit, but you don't get frustrated. Just know to expect it. Okay. But after those people are in there, you guys, they're going to see this first post. Okay. Because they're going to come in and they're going to see your previous helpful and how-to posts. And they're going to be like, oh, this is an interesting fact. It's not like random things like, you know, here's what we have to offer. It's interesting it's genuinely brings on more curiosity about how awesome your product is. Okay. And I'm going to help you through that in the next session. But with this post, you're actually meeting them where they're at. Okay. And I want you guys to take a peek at this. I know I've been talking, but read this. It says welcome. It says a little bit about your company. And I didn't tell you guys this I.U gifts that you're seeing. This is my made up company. Okay. I just needed something for illustration purposes. And I.U gifts is a direct selling gift shop. Okay. Again, totally fake, doesn't exist. But it's just for visual. And again, I'm going to show you guys this in Tupperware theme in just a bit, but you're going to have a welcome, explain a little bit, but then I want you guys to look at the last two bottom pictures. Okay. It asks your party guests, are you an express partier or are you a full experience partier? Okay. Now, an express partier is somebody who RSVP'd or told their friend, yeah, I'll come, but she really doesn't want to be there. Okay. And don't take offense to it. All right. We all know an express partier. She loves the hostess. She, thinks highly of her friend and she doesn't want to let her down. So even though she probably doesn't need any Tupperware or she doesn't care to have any Tupperware, she's going to place an order because she loves her friend. Or she might be an express partier because she's busy. She might be like, well, I don't hang out on Facebook. I'd rather do blank or whatever, but I still want to support my friend and place an order. So yes, I'm an express partier. So those people, they get to skip the party and you get to service them, give them the best customer service, the best experience one-on-one, okay? So that they can check out, place their order, make their selection before you even begin your party, okay? It's like pre-ordering in the back in the old days when we did a lot of home parties, okay? And then there's the full experience partier. She's in it for the fun. She's in it to mingle with the friends. She's in it to try to win the prizes, okay? She wants to just experience it all. She's not in a rush. She's just there. You'll find express partiers are awesome, okay? And a lot of times they'll turn into full experience because they just can't help themselves because the posts are so fun, okay? But then there's some full experience partiers who most of the time those will become your hostesses because they might not have the income at the moment to place an order, but they'll love what they're doing with you. They'll play the dice game for a chance to win something for free, and then they'll turn into your hostesses. Don't think that one is better than the other. What you're doing, and after I studied and I talked to a lot of people, a lot of the feedback that I got from the customers is that they felt so forced to be a part of a party, but yet they still wanted to support their friends, and that wasn't an option. These consultants were not giving them that option. So I was like, well, let's add this. Powerful, you guys, powerful. So really it's just like a random person messaging you saying, hey, I'd like to place an order. And then you help her, figure out what it is that she wants, or maybe she already knows, and you just, help her get that order placed. So that is the quad post. And listen, I call it the quad post because these pictures you're going to share at the same time. So when you post it on Facebook, they're squares. When you post it on Facebook, it looks like one picture, and people read what's on your picture more than they read what you're writing. Okay. So your pictures really need to be powerful. If you just had a welcome to the party, one image, and then you had all of what's on these other images in the post description, they would not read it. Okay. That's again, another thing that I studied, and I, figured out the strategy behind the people that were invited to these parties. And I was like, well, that makes sense because I don't read it either, so keep that in mind. Don't skip that part and think, oh, well, I'll just write that in the post description because I don't whatever about making these images. There's strategy in posting 4 images that look like one. Okay. And listen, the other thing is too, just keep this in mind. I've learned this from again, just learning how people are partying, they might not answer. Okay. If people don't answer, just accept that they are your full experience partiers and just post as normal. Okay. There were probably, out of 30 RSVPs, there will probably be 5 to 7 that will choose express. The other other amount will be full experience. And like I said, even some express partiers that will go and place the order, they'll still come back to try to win some of the prizes that you're going to give away. Okay. All right. So that's the quad post. And you guys, the party hasn't even started yet. I need to hurry up. Okay. Let's talk about the last of your purposeful posts. These are your question images. And girls, this is where the interaction will go way up. And I cannot wait to share with you guys my ideas for y'all for Tupperware. Okay. But let's just look at the foundation of what I've got going on with these images. Okay. You're going to ask a question. You're going to post one of these in the morning and then one later in the day, but you're going to post both the same day. Okay. And this is the day of the party. So before your party starts at like 8 or 9 o'clock, you're going to post one of these questions in the morning, one of these questions later in the day. Doesn't matter really what time. If you wanted to post one at 9 and one at noon, that's fine too. Okay. That's just based on your schedule. If you're using a group, you could even schedule them. That's another perk for a group. Let me touch on that really quick. This isn't in my notes either. You guys, when you schedule your posts, I find that a lot of direct sellers they see that, you know, being able to share a post that you've scheduled is convenient, but they're not remembering the importance of coming and interacting after somebody has commented. So make sure you're not taking that as like the easy, way out, that you are still showing up and interacting with your customers. And this goes for posting in your group too. If you scheduled a post, make sure you're interacting with those people that are responding, because otherwise they're going to stop responding. Okay. And you don't want that. Okay. I have labeled these A, B, C, or D. That's important. You want to give people choices. They are new maybe to you. Maybe they are new to the Facebook party. I don't imagine that, but there are some, okay, that you still meet that have never done this. But you want to give them an easy way to answer you. If you have or ask them to write a paragraph, they're just not going to take time to do it, you guys. Okay. Give them A, B, C, or D, or have them pair 2 options together with letters or numbers. Okay. That's just a little side strategy that I've figured out works really well. All right. And again, these questions are posted the day of, and you're going to see more interaction on these posts than anything else. And if you're like, I've done these, I'm not getting interaction, you need to change your question up. Okay. You need to change your question up, and I'll show you my suggestions that have been really working well. Okay. Then it's almost party time. It is time for some reminders. You're going to share these 2 images at the same time, so it looks like one long image. And it's just the breakdown of what they can expect, and that you're about to start posting, in 15 minutes, the party's going to start. You guys can see here that this Poppin party is in 4 parts. There's a door prize. I'm going to introduce you guys to the showcase. And then I'm going to introduce you guys to the game, which I'm going to show you guys the dice game, talk about that. And then part 4 is your shopping special. All of these are important, and all of them, again, are strategic as far as getting right to what it is that you want your customers to do. You want them to show up. That's why the door prize is there. You want them to fall in love with your product. That's the showcase. You want to give them a chance to book a party. Okay. And so you need to have some sort of booking game. If you're like, I've tried the virtual dice game, I'm just not a fan, it's just not me, but you have a virtual game for bookings that you love, that's where you'll plug that in, part 3. Okay. And then part 4, you have to give them a call to action, give them some incentive to shop with you. I'm like losing my voice. My son had his first wrestling tournament today, and I screamed my face off. I feel my voice. Sorry, girls. All right. So it's part 1. I suggest you start your party, like I said, at 8, 9 o'clock. This part 1 I call swag. Really, it's just a door prize. You're going to pick a product that everybody loves that's fairly reasonable, okay? Or you're going to pick something, and again, you'll have to be careful because I don't know what Tupperware's compliance rules are. So make sure you check this out with your leader before you go, well, Amanda said, I don't work for Tupperware, okay? I don't want to get anybody or steer anybody the wrong way. But other direct sellers will choose another type of giveaway that will go along with their product, okay? So it could be, I'm just thinking, you know, you guys, a cute magnet, okay? Something funny, you know, that they could choose between 3 magnets, okay, if they won the door prize. Chip clips or something else that maybe would help or go along with what Tupperware does, but doesn't necessarily have in their catalog at the moment. Again, I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but if you are, you know, like those monogrammed dish towels, you know, you can make those or hire someone to help you make them for like $5. I mean, around that price point is good. But you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're giving away is on this image. You can't just write part 1. All right, door prize, you know, who's here? Who wants to, you know, win tonight? You need to actually show them what they could win. Why, Amanda? Why do I have to do that? People are scrolling, okay? Again, I told you, this is not like a wedding. They haven't like, oh my gosh, put it in their calendar and set their alarm or anything, you guys. They're scrolling. If they see something cute and it says giveaway, okay, or win me or up for grabs, then that's going to stop them. And then they're going to go, oh yeah, Sarah Beth's Tupperware party is tonight. Oh, and look how cute that giveaway is. And you're going to draw them in. Okay, you're going to draw them in from their news feeds. And then even if they haven't RSVP'd, you guys, there's a chance you could get another person to party with you. Okay, so this is part 1. Again, you just get them to just say who they are. You can, I've had people tell me that they ask, you know, where are you from? Drop a selfie of, you know, what you did today, or, you know, share what you're doing right now or what you're drinking right now, or say something nice about the hostess. I'm sure you guys have something maybe that you use or you could brainstorm about that. Again, this is just a simple who's out there, who's ready to party, okay? Interact with your guests. I am going to give you another suggestion. This blew my mind on my interview questions with the shoppers, the non-direct sellers when it came to Facebook parties. I said, what is something that you love about, you know, going to a Facebook party? And the majority of them said when the consultant used a GIF or a GIF, depending on where you are in the States or the world. And I was like, wait, what? They love when a consultant will use the Facebook suggested GIFs or the GIFs, okay? So if somebody says, hey, you know, I'm Barbara and I know my hostess Sarah Beth because we go to church together, then you as the consultant, instead of being like, well, hey there, you know, glad you're here, you know, say, hey, tag her, okay? And then share a funny GIF, something like, hello, like, have you guys seen the Mrs. Doubtfire with the pie on her face and she's going, hello. All right, that sets the tone. People feel like it's more of a party. They're kind of smiling and laughing and giggling. So use the GIFs in your comments. It really surprised me on that one. Okay. Another suggestion. I just did a training and I was trying to help people get 100 new group members. And I figured out the math that if you did, I don't know if I can get the math straight. My biggest suggestion is that you guys need to be doing more Facebook parties, because if you are doing your Facebook parties and you are averaging 25 people, okay, that have RSVP'd to these events, you should be making sure that those 25 people are moving from that event or that group into the group that you hang out and, you know, talk about your Tupperware stuff in. Okay, so one of the parts or one of the strategies in part 1 is to actually say, guys, you're getting a ticket just for being here into this, you know, swag that I'm giving away. But if you want 10 more tickets, all right, who cares? Then come and request to join my group. I would love for us to stay connected, because after this party, that group is done, unless that hostess joins and it becomes her, you know, her Tupperware group. You're not going to be like posting up in all these Facebook party groups. Okay. You want to move your people to your community, because if they don't book there, they'll book then when they're hanging out with you and falling in love and learning more about what you do, or what you offer. Okay. So make sure that that's part of your strategy too. It's just another way to continuously be adding people to your group. That needs to be a focus. Okay. All right. Part 2 is your showcase. Okay. And I know people are like, what is a showcase? Your showcase is where you pick a theme, and instead of it being like a catalog, you show them why they need whatever it is that you sell for that part of their life. Okay. So with Tupperware, these 2 showcases aren't the best, but I'm going to show you guys the one that I think worked really good. But let's just look at a day in the life. Okay. When you, being the Tupperware ladies that you are, could you, if you were to map out, I don't know, 10 things that you did during the day, does Tupperware, something that Tupperware offers, does that incorporate, or do you incorporate that product or some of those products into each one of those 10 things that you do each morning or each day? Okay. So I'm just going to fly off the seat of my, well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to wait. But you guys call me out and be like, Amanda, do the day in the life suggestions when we get to the next section, because the other showcase idea is something different. But what I want to do is just show you again the foundations of what the showcase looks like. You're going to have an intro, okay, or a cover picture of this post. This is part 2. Again, creating the desire. All right, you're not necessarily showcasing the prices at this point. You're just showing what it is that Tupperware has, okay? And you're going to create, this is a little lenient because you guys have a lot of stuff, but between 10 and 15 images or categories of pictures, and you're going to share them all at the same time, so that when people are on their phones and they come to this part, they're going to just push on the first one, and then they're going to be able to hit that arrow and go through all of the ones that you have shared. Okay. Now, this again is for them to create a desire. And I'm going to show you guys in just a little bit my suggestions for how you guys would do this with your product. I have to be honest, I am not the best cook. Okay. And when I went to this part of, I have several people that do Tupperware and follow this formula. And when I went to write that part of the training, I was like, oh, this might be hard for me because I'm not a really great cook. But then when I started to do it and I started to map it out for you guys, I was like, well, shoot, now I need every single thing that is in this. And that right there, you guys, is the point. You want the people who don't think that they need Tupperware or don't think that they want it to then be like, oh my gosh, now I want this. Okay. So the cook stacker thingy, I mean, come on. That right there, I mean, hands down, you should be booking parties left and right for that sucker. If you're not marketing that thing, girls. Okay, well, more about that later. All right, this is the showcase. Again, I'm going to show you guys, but this is just the foundation of what this looks like. Oh, and here's some more pictures. Like I said, should have probably for you guys, I would say no more than 15 categories, all right, or images, because you don't want it to be overwhelming, because the next part you really want them to stick around for. The thing is if you put too much in there, then they'll stop scrolling and then they'll get bored and then they'll totally check out of the party. You don't want them to do that. You want them to stick around. So just a few. Okay. Part 3 is where you are going to get the bookings. This is where whether you like it or not, you're going to offer some sort of booking incentive and playing a game. Some people are just like, I am just not a game person. You will be a game person if you can get some parties booked. Okay. So I'm going to suggest during part 3 that you play the virtual dice game. Jan, look at that. I see you, Jan. You will give me some of that. She's drinking. Okay. So keeping the momentum up by playing a virtual game to get some bookings is key. People have just fallen in love with your product. They realized, oh my gosh, I can make dinner. I can make, 3 things in the microwave in 30 minutes. Oh man, that's a little bit out of my price point, but oh man, offering them an incentive to book with you, that's a no-brainer. Okay, especially after the showcase part. The dice game, what I love about this, if you're new to me, what's so awesome about the dice game is it gives people a chance at winning something or walking away with really little or nothing at all. So if you are new to me and you are really struggling with a booking game during your Facebook parties, if you're like, man, I can't get any parties, okay? Change your party. First of all, I think a lot of times people are like, well, yeah, Amanda, the dice game is great, but it's the Poppin party formula that they're wanting for their friends. So they're booking because the quickness and the, how awesome that Poppin party is. So anyways, people are not only just playing this in their virtual parties, but they're also playing it in their groups. Once a month, they're playing it in their groups. So if you guys have specific questions about the virtual dice game and how that works, I can go into that afterwards, but just know that part 3, you guys, is where you do some sort of incentive and get them to book. Okay, offer something. And I will tell you that, and this is not in my notes too, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. Actually, we might have talked about this already, Tina, but I'll just go over this again. Your incentive, the amount of your incentive, like the cost out of your pocket, is going to vary depending on where you're at in your calendar. If you're like, I am maxed out, I have all the bookings I could possibly need, then you could offer up something that costs maybe $5 or $10 to, as a prize or an incentive to book with you. But if you're like, man, I have nothing, nobody will book with me, yes, that's a mindset thing. But you might have to offer a larger incentive. And it might be like something where you're like, oh, that's a lot of money. You guys, you need to invest in your business. And sometimes it costs money to make money. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you need to go into debt, but if you're paying, let's say $25, $35 to have a party and the potential to make $300, okay, it's better to make $275, right, than no dollars. So don't lose sight on the what could happen after that, because you don't have it right now. Again, I'm not going to trade on that, but I could, because I'm pretty passionate about that too. All right, let's go on to part 4. This is the shopping special, okay? And this makes people go, oh man, I gotta shop now, okay? And it needs to be something that is different. It needs to be something that they can't get, from anywhere else, okay? So I don't know what your shipping charges are. This might be out of the park for you guys, but I will tell you that spending a certain amount was less of an incentive than free shipping was for the shoppers that I interviewed. So if you can swing doing free shipping after maybe they buy a certain amount, offering that as a shopping special needs to happen. I have some people that say, I'm not doing a shopping special. And I'm like, okay, well, how are your parties? They're like, they're not going so good. I'm like, well, try it. Even if it's a gift with purchase, something. All right, figure out what people go crazy for and then put it in there and watch what happens. Okay, but this is part 4. This is also where you're going to let them start shopping. Now, let's talk about how they're going to shop with you. My suggestion is that you give them 2 options, okay? You give them 2 options. They can go to the website. They can place their order on their own. They can enter in their name, their address, whatever it is that Tupperware requires when they're checking out. And then boom, it's done. Or you offer to place the order for her. So you're going to tell me, let's say I'm a guest at Sarah Beth's Facebook party, you're my consultant. You're going to say, now listen, if you just want to screenshot what it is that you want and send me a message, I will send you a total and you can pay me however, PayPal, Venmo, Facebook Messenger, again, whatever it is that you guys are allowed to use for your business. Make it so easy for your customers to buy from you. Then guess what happens? They will buy from you. Okay. I just did this with, I ordered some Tupperware. Thanks guys. One of the girls that works for me sells Tupperware. And I was like, this stuff, I need it all. And it was great. I said, here's what I need. Screenshotted the pictures of the things I needed. And I sent her a message and then she's like, here's your total. So I don't know what she did, but it worked for me. All I had to do was pay her. Okay. You know, she needed my address, but she had that. And it was just simple to buy from her. So if you followed me beyond just today, you guys know that I'm super passionate about offering simplicity for your customers. If you get frustrated because they're not buying, it's because you're making it too hard to buy from you. And in a Facebook party, it's late at night, you guys, nobody wants to get out from under their covers in their bed or on their couch to go to their car to get their purse, to get their credit card. Okay. They don't want to have to call you on the phone. Okay. They don't. They will, maybe, but they don't want to do that. So make it so easy to pay for these things. Okay. All right. You're going to wrap it up. Part 5 is just a simple thank you. You're going to let them know that, hey, you're going to be around to answer questions, message you, you know, you're happy again to take care of it. Here's the link to my group where I'd love to, you know, stay connected. Also, here's the shopping special again. Ask me questions. Let me know if you have any questions. And this is when people will shop. Now, I will tell you, people will shop after the party too. That was kind of a bad habit that I noticed a couple years ago, is that there wasn't enough incentive to place the order before a certain time. Okay. And so then what happens, people kind of get bored and get lazy and they're like, well, I don't really need that. Right. But when it's that night and there's a call to action or an incentive that expires, they're more apt to then place the order, especially if you're like, I'll place the order for you and you can just pay me and then I'll order it for you type of thing. So a lot of consultants have said that they have success putting a deadline. Your shopping special is good until midnight that night. Okay. Or here are 2 shopping specials. You get both of them before midnight. Okay. An extra incentive to place those orders. Now let's go back and let's talk about the express partiers. You guys just saw all of the steps. Those express partiers, those people that are like, I don't want to sit through this. I just want to support my friend. They go right to step 4 or part 4. Okay. They get the shopping special. You're going to give them the link. You're going to let them know how to shop. And then you're going to do all of that in messages with her. Okay. It's so simple. It's so simple. Okay. Whew. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. Let me stop sharing my screen. And I have some discounts for you guys on some of my stuff. So don't go to the shop just yet. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys about that. All right. I am scrolling. Do I see, what am I missing? I see that you guys are excited. I love that. Okay, here's one from Shanna. Shanna says, so overall, the timeline of the party is 3 days, including the pre-party posts. Yeah, that's a great question. So what's so awesome about this formula is you literally can throw it together the day before. Okay. You can make the event. You can tell your hostess, hey, invite your friends. And then you can do the next day. You can do the question. Okay. And then you can post that night. So it can be done in a couple days. It depends on how how your hostess responds as far as the timeline goes. But if you tell her, hey, listen, I'm inviting you on Monday, we are partying on Wednesday, or I am inviting you on Monday and we are partying on Tuesday. Something about like not making it drag out, they just do better. So you'll have to play around with that to see what feels better for you. But yeah, the potential of it being so short. And you guys, this, I didn't mention this, but why this works is, and I have to have a moment, a mama moment where I'm like, come here, because some people are like, Amanda, this just doesn't seem like this would work. Like I have so much I want to share about Tupperware. I have so much that this just doesn't give me time to do. Listen, this is an introduction, okay? You are working for literally 20 minutes. You are going to sell $400, let's say, okay? What do you make in 20 minutes if you sell $400? Okay, you could then do another party at 8:30. Then you could do a party at 9, and then you could do a party at 9:30. So you could do 4 parties in the time that it would normally take you to do 1, and you'd make 4 times the amount of money. Okay, test it, prove it. You guys do it. Okay. I love the party timeline. I have hosts that want to go for weeks. Yeah, Pat, just be like, you know what? Do you trust me? This is my job. Like, do you want free stuff or do you want to hang out with your friends? And if they want to hang out, then, you know, just be like, well, I don't do those parties anymore. I have some people that are like, I would never. You can be like, but I know somebody that does 40-day parties now. Okay. Lori says, any tips on when hostess wants to leave open for shopping for like a week until people get paid? Lori, you just need to set that tone right from the beginning and just say, hey, listen, Lori, you know, this party, again, you are the boss. Okay. You are the boss. So say, hey, Lori, listen, the party is going to happen Wednesday night and I'm going to need to close it by Friday. So if your people don't order by then, we'll just do another party and they can order then. Okay. Because you have to be efficient. If they're dragging it out. Now, listen, again, test me on this one. I will tell you, after years and years of doing this, I had that mindset too, where I was like, well, let's give them a few days or let's give them a week. Okay. I maybe got 1 order. I mean, maybe. All right. So to me, it's just not worth it. I'd rather just say, okay, well, we'll open up another party time and we'll do this again with some friends that couldn't come and then they can order then. Okay. It's what you're comfortable with. But if you have a hostess and you're seeing that that's what's happening, you have to be like, wait, this is my business. This is how we do it. And it's just how you explain it. Okay. And if you're like, well, listen, I know. Okay. Then they're going to walk all over you. But if you just say, hey, listen, right up front, I just want to let you know, I've got to close the party on Friday. So if you have people that are like, then we'll just open another party date. So what's she going to do? She's going to get those people that Friday that got paid to buy something. Okay. It's all in how it's worded. Amanda. Oh, wait. Sorry, Linda, I see your question. So a live demo isn't really necessary. No, I suggest you do live demos in your Facebook group, like your everyday hanging out with your customers group. Okay. Can you add that? Sure. It won't hurt. Okay. I'm not sure that it would super duper help either. Before I launched this formula, I had that tested and the results, it just didn't make a difference. So I didn't put it in there. So you literally can work your business without a bra on, girls. No makeup necessary either. All right, Linda. Okay, somebody's answering her. I have one new recruit. She hasn't done anything on her half to her business. Yvonne, work with your leader. I know she'll help you. What else have I missed, you guys?
There is a question that actually 2 people have asked, and it's what to do when your hostess is not inviting anybody, even when you've provided verbiage in the graphic.
Okay, so I've got 3 steps for you. The first step is you fuss and you fuss and you fuss to your husband. And then the second thing is you go either get ice cream or queso. Okay. And then the third thing is you just decide, all right, You're going to message her and you're going to say, hey, listen, it's almost party time. And this is actually in the hostess formula. It's almost party time. You know, it looks like you haven't had an opportunity to invite your people yet. It's not too late. We can still do this. You let me know. Okay. Because you guys, here's the deal. And again, I get some leaders that are like, I would never cancel a party. It's very rare that Facebook party cancellations happen, but you have to also protect your calendar. Okay. So if you have a hostess who you've asked to do something and she has not done it, you have to then ask her, hey, do you want to reschedule? Okay. And then you're going to try to refill that party, even if you have to do one yourself. Okay. Be a hostess yourself. I know that that's frustrating. It does happen, but that's where you have to do the hostess coaching very well so that she understands the timeline of how it works. And again, all of that, I'm not training on that today, but get that hostess coaching formula. Everything's in there will really help out as far as how to deal with people when they don't necessarily do what you need them to do. So, all right, any other questions? Do you change your graphics party to party? Like, do you change them up? You don't necessarily have to, but I used to get really bored. I used to be like, okay, this image, I'm like tired of seeing this image. And so I'd make a different one. Or I would be like, man, I thought this was a really good idea and it's not really getting a ton of, traction. So I would switch it. But you don't have to. A lot of times people will use the same graphics for many, many months. So it just depends on your business. Okay, what else?
When playing the dice game, how do you deal with people that roll and then don't respond to your private message?
That happens too. You just have to keep focusing on those who do play. It is so funny. I have, go into if you're not a part of my Facebook group, it's Amanda Todd, that.life with Amanda Todd, and search dice game. I gave some suggestions for how to deal with people there. And I'm sure if you go to read that, it'll be better than what I'll say right now. But just know that it happens just like when you hostess coach, you're going to, get hostess coach the same way you did for a $50 party to a, $500 party. Some people don't read or don't follow the directions, and you can get frustrated and you can, be like, well, you need to party because you played this game. They'll be a lousy hostess if you bully them into, booking just because. So my suggestion is just roll on. You can message them one more time and say, hey girl, just checking in to make sure you got the message. And if she ignores you again, she's a no. Don't hold her to her. She doesn't get a prize, whatever. Just move on. Okay. It's just part of it.